Welcome back to All Hart. My next guest is a producer who has worked on countless movies and most recently worked on a film starring Abigail Breslin called Wicked Blood. Take a look.
I have a plan. Give me a family again.
I need a job. I was thinking I could make some deliveries.
Can I trust you?
I'm family.
You up to something? Don't go messing around with your Uncle Frank, all right? Just deliver the package and get out of there.
So what's it worth anyway?
I don't know, 20,000?
She ripped us off.
What was in it?
Vitamins.
You don't know anything about this?
How so?
Don't bite that.
Jason Pinardo is a South Jersey native, and he joins me now. Welcome, Jason.
Glad to be here. Thank
I'm
you.
so happy you're here. This is so cool, and you're a local guy.
I am. Went to high school right down the street.
Right down the street. Tell everyone where you went. You went to
Paul VI.
Paul VI. So, I mean, did you want to get into entertainment when you were young? How did this all start for you? Because you don't just pop into the movie business, so to speak. So.
No, you're right. You don't. I remember being young, like 7 or 8 years old, and my parents had this old Minolta camera. I had no idea what to do with it. I just remember it had all these really cool knobs and colors, and I developed an interest in photography. Wound up going to Temple, much like yourself. Did a semester abroad in Rome studying photography, travel. I needed 2 credits to graduate. So I told my parents, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go hang out in Italy for a while. So I was fortunate enough I got to travel. We did 7 or 8 countries, and I just spent 6 months traveling Europe taking photographs. Came back here, wound up doing the LA internship program through Temple. Spent 4 or 5 months out there. Worked on NSYNC's first music video.
NSYNC?
NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys.
Oh, nice.
McG. When McG was still doing music videos, we did Savage Garden and Walking on the Sun. And
See, this is my
yeah,
music. These
Mark
are my
McGrath.
people.
I came home. I was so enamored with Mark McGrath. I came home and he had that little blonde streak,
Right,
so I
yeah.
was like, I have to have the blonde streak, so I did that. And then just started as a PA 15 years ago and worked my way up. Started my own company about 5 years ago. Along the line, got into the Directors Guild, Producers Guild, the whole deal.
That's fast. Along the line, just happen
somewhere
to pop
along the
some of
line-
those things in there too.
I try and mentor a lot of kids. And I say to everybody, the difference between where I stand and where you sit is the 15 years of mistakes I've made.
Right.
And the only reason I was able to make Wicked Blood is because I have some really great mentors. And I've met a lot of amazing people in this industry who had an interest in looking out for me and teaching me all the mistakes they made. So I try my best to pay that back.
So tell me a little bit more about Wicked Blood. Everybody knows Abigail Breslin started on screen young, very young. We're watching her grow into her, into her own, and this looks really different for her.
It's completely different. The story of that, I had done a movie with the director we shot in Philly 5 or 6 years ago called Tooth and Nail. And Mark Young was the writer-director, and he's like, hey, I hear you've got some investors and you can raise money. So he sent me the script for Wicked Blood, and I sent it to my investor, who's a local guy. And Mark was looking for $50,000. He's like, we'll do it in North Carolina, we'll do it really down on the cheap. So I sent it to my investor, and my investor's like, I like it, I'll give you 50 grand. So once Mark realized that we had the 50, he's like, well, can we get 100? And it just sort of built. And he was good friends with Lou Temple.
Okay.
So Lou Temple signed on, and we actually had Norman Reedus before we had Sean Bean. So long story short, we were able to attach more and more people, and then the budget grew. And in the last minute, we were actually down in Baton Rouge. We were set up. We'd flown to LA. We met with Norman Reedus' agent, Julia Buchwald, had the contracts in front of us, and then Norman gets the call to go back to Walking Dead. So Julia calls us, and she's like, guys, I don't know how to tell you this, Norman's out. And I said, Norman, the crew is here. We start shooting on Wednesday. You can't pull Norman. Like, we're gonna lose everything. She pulled Norman, he apologized, and the stars aligned, and we wound up with Sean Bean.
Not too shabby.
If I have to replace Norman with Sean Bean, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Sean was over in the UK shooting Jupiter Ascending. Warner Brothers gave us Sean for 6 days, and ultimate professional. His father passed away 3 days before he was supposed to come to us. And most actors, myself, I was like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sean was like, he postponed the funeral,
He made it.
He made it.
Made it happen.
Showed up as a true professional,
Yeah.
his lines every time.
Well, you know, it's for artists and sometimes just getting right back into it. For anybody in their job and work, sometimes that's the way back. So you've got so many things going on. I could talk to you for hours, but I want to get to Taken 3 real quick because I know that's some, a film everybody knows and a series of films. Give me a quick update on that.
I'm under an NDA with Europa, of course, so there's not a lot that I can say.
Okay.
Was one of the best experiences I've ever had. You know, we went down there and we got to do a lot of really great stuff. Atlanta's an amazing town to film in. It was Liam and Famke and Forrest and Maggie Grace is back in this one. No one gets taken. I can tell you that.
Although that's the title.
It is the title. There is a hook in this one that no one will ever see coming.
Ooh, exciting!
I think they're actually over right now. They're in Paris. You may run into them.
Very nice. Maybe we'll run into one
paths.
another. Jason, I'm so glad that you are here today, and I hope you'll come back and keep us up to date on what you're doing.
I would love to.
Jason Pinardo, thanks so much. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll take a look at what's hot at the box office this weekend in our Critics Corner. Ooh, look at that. Stay tuned.
The robber was 5'2", white.